Time I lied to get out of taking a test. I was in 5th grade and I had a test on ecosystems, and I was panicking all day long. I did not study. So I went to the bathroom, faked being sick, and got sent to the nurse. Now, back in the day, if you even mentioned throwing up, automatically sent home. Like, no doubt. So they called my mom, and sure enough, I was on my way home in the car. But see, I wasn't good at faking being sick. Of course, within minutes, my mom found out, and she turned that car around so fast. She dragged my butt right back into that school and asked my teacher if I could retake the test that day. And what did my teacher say? That if I would have just come to her, she would have allowed me to take the test another day when I felt more prepared. So here I am creating this elaborate ruse to get out of taking a test, and all I had to do was talk to my teacher. But my mom insisted that I take the test that day to learn my lesson, and I got a B. So it turns out I had nothing to worry about, but I did get in trouble for faking being sick. Moral of the story, don't come up with an elaborate ruse to get out of taking a test because you'll probably have to take it that day anyway when your mom sends you back to school. Biggest lie I've ever told. I was in 2nd grade when the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened in New York City. My parents have been talking about all the firefighters that were going up to New York to help out with the search and rescue efforts. So the next day I go to school and I tell my teacher that my uncle is a firefighter and he is going to go up to New York and help with the search and rescue efforts. So what does she do? She calls my mom. I can just picture that conversation, my mom just being horrified. So she calls my mom and asks, "We want to take up a collection to send with your brother and all the other firefighters on their way up to New York. Where can we send this money?" And my mom is like, "Oh my God, what did you say?" She tells my teacher, I don't know where she got that from, but her uncle is not going up to New York. He is not going to help with search and rescue efforts. He's not even a firefighter. And let it be known, I was 7, so my brain didn't know what it was saying. I thought my uncle was a firefighter. Moral of the story is, don't believe me when I tell you my uncle was a firefighter going to New York to help with 9/11.
When I was 5, I had just gotten a new scooter for my birthday. It was lime green and I loved it so much. And one day I was just like, "Mom, make me macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets, please." I was very sassy at the time. And my mom said, "No, you had that last week. Today, we're having Mexican food." So I got mad at her and I went to my room. And then I was really, really bored. So I said, "Mom, I'm going outside with my brand new scooter. You can't stop me." She said, "Okay, I'll come with you. We'll go outside for 10 minutes and then we'll come back for lunch." It was just me and my mom at the time because my sister and my dad were at my sister's tennis tournament. We go outside and I'm just scootering back and forth on the pavement and my mom screams, "Oh my God, the food is burning." And so she goes inside and says, "Make sure you stay right in front of the house." But of course, I didn't. About how I almost got kidnapped. Once my mom goes back inside, I get carried away, so I start scootering pretty fast down the road. I pass a man and a woman, and I just smile politely and keep going. Once I was past them, they screamed, "Wait up!" And I just turned around and I said, "What?" They said, "Hey, follow me, little girl." And I just shook my head and went the opposite direction of them. Of course, I was going the opposite direction of my own house, so I was getting farther and farther away from my mom. They started chasing after me, and I was going as fast as I could with my scooter. And then I did a grand U-turn and started scootering back to my house. I threw the scooter on the yard and went inside as fast as I could. My mom said, "What?" And I told her the whole story and sat down on the couch. She said that she'd call the cops. I looked outside the window. I saw that my scooter was taken. My mom promised me to get another scooter, so I was happy. The cops caught the 2 people trying to kidnap me. So I'm alive and healthy.
I don't like to study. Studying's not what I do. But if I fail my test, my mama going to use kung fu.